As a New Yorker from the South Bronx, I had to learn quickly how to deal with tough people as well as survive in some dangerous situations. Also, because hardcore and charismatic individuals were willing to use the insecurities and experience and weaknesses of anyone to accomplish their goals, I had to quickly learn about the mental mind games they use to manipulate impressionable young minds into getting involved in situations that often turn out to be deadly. 我希望我不成为这种受过禁存的那一个人。I hope I'm not the last one standing. I found that the mind state I had developed to protect myself back in my home nation often caused me to be misunderstood or simply stereotyped by people abroad, and I didn't want people to see me as someone or something to fear, so I decided to turn down my 警觉性 or awareness. However, I see that I may need to turn it back up because even where I am now, I keep observing how people, for different reasons, keep manipulating each other. I am constantly reminded to remain aware of being manipulated, and luckily, I may have already learned some skills to prevent getting manipulated. No matter where you are, you'll discover that people are really the same but different at the same time. Every corner of every nation, people do things they shouldn't be doing, and the reasons could be economic, social, cultural, or religious in nature, or anything in between. Let's investigate what type of mindset we can use to prevent being manipulated, because manipulation is universal. And welcome to 4C's One Family. Let's face it. The people who lead and remain unimpressed through chaos are not the most emotional. They absolutely aren't the most kind, and they are usually the most composed and detached. Maybe this is because they know that those who feel too much fall too fast. Or maybe they learned that emotions can be used to rule people like puppet masters. I learned that people often get manipulated because the person or group that is manipulating them knows what hurts them the most. These precarious individuals and groups know how to get under the skin of people who are the most susceptible to misguidance. Manipulators quickly learn how the person they are victimizing will react. This type of mental gymnastics often puts their manipulated victims in a very inflexible and uncomfortable situations. When you are in need, those who manipulate you will ignore you. They know because of your insecurities, you will still chase them. They know that you rely on them like a crutch and find it more comfortable to remain in their mental hamster wheel so they can spin you around any way they want for as long as they want. 无论如何，不管怎么样, you must learn to break free of a manipulator's often well-scripted stronghold and find your own direction. This doesn't mean the direction you choose will be free of obstacles. However, it does allow you to chase your own dreams without restraints being forcefully placed on you by someone or a group trying to 利用你，不是善用你。You must learn to detach yourself from the attention you feel you need from others, because you will never be independent of being remotely controlled as long as you allow your sense of peace and security to be tied to someone else's actions, beliefs, or behaviors. If someone can make you angry with their words or leave you in tears, you are not in control. If someone can get you to change your mind by staring at you or raising their voice, you are not in control. When you find yourself in confrontational situations and you feel you must bite your tongue, you are not in control. Manipulators use situations like these to redirect your thoughts and get you to make choices under stress that appear to be your own, which they have already decided for you to make. And this becomes more than just disrespect, because you may become the scapegoat or 替罪羊. Now wake up. Assert control from those trying to manipulate you by not sharing your thoughts, because by sharing your thoughts, manipulators can turn your thoughts into quagmires you aren't able to cross without them. And they offer assurances that only they have the solutions for your problems. And their solutions are often presented as panaceas that usually come at some financial or monetary cost. When you are in an emotional state, distance yourself from manipulative people, because when people are emotional, they usually react too quickly or make irrational decisions and statements. This is when your vulnerabilities are revealed and when manipulative people are at their worst. A manipulative person may try to test you by debating with you or disrespecting you. Your instinct may be to argue or to prove yourself. But what if you didn't and instead remained silent or even amused? This may cause the manipulator to see you as being unpredictable because they don't know what game you're playing, because you're not playing their game. You're playing your own game defined by your own rules in your own playing field, which makes you untouchable. By not reacting to their provocations, this shows that you are not dependent on their opinions, because you are now the one laying the traps and defining the rules for any further communication. Don't allow manipulators to corrupt your state of mind and turn it into a souvenir that they can hang up on their wall to show their accomplishments. Once you become immune to the things manipulative people say and do, their words cease to be weapons they can use to influence you to change your course. Your emotions aren't weakened by this immunity. Instead, your immunity becomes the armor that protects your emotions and, most importantly, your physical and mental health. Not everyone or everything deserves your attention. Save it, reserve it, and only deploy it when absolutely necessary, because the more attention you give to the wrong people and things, the more depleted you become when your attention is needed the most. When a moment of tension arises, delay your reaction to study the moment. Watch how others react, remain calm, calculate your next move, and above all, remain silent. Don't do this to get revenge, because revenge only hides hate. Instead, do it for clarity, to form better judgments. Your pause and silence becomes your weapons of choice, because they allow you to comprehend situations clearly without interference. Weak and insecure people often fail because they are unable to adapt quickly enough in confrontational situations. When they are confronted by a dominant individual, they often crumble and justify their inactions by resorting to unstable points of view to make their points. Manipulation and those who employ it will always be around, and you may have at least once manipulated someone to achieve a goal. How many of these manipulative actions or traits have you encountered, and why you feel you were or weren't manipulated? If you have found what we have to offer of any value, please click on the subscribe and bell buttons below to keep up to date with our current episodes. And if you're listening to our podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment, because we're very interested in hearing what you have to say. Thank you for joining us here at 4Cs1 Family, and remember to stay strong, safe, and healthy wherever you are in the world, because we have much more in common than we think.